What's up, YouTube?
Yo.
All good?
All the better for sitting down, being able to chat some comics after a week of
You,
hell that has
you
been
were
work.
you were missed last week, mate. You were missed. Where was you?
Oh, mate, I literally just couldn't be bothered. No, I'm only joking. No, it was busy times, work, family, all that good stuff. And I think every so often it's okay that we take a little break
No, it's not.
because
It's
we
not.
come back.
It's not.
Sorry, boss.
No, of course it is. Yeah. No, at the end of the day, we sit here and we talk about comics. There is more important things, or is there?
Is there?
No.
There really wasn't, because I really missed it, because I was watching intermittently, and I was in the chat and stuff like that, and I was so close to just jumping on, but when you've got two kids to look after, it's not a good idea.
I know it's not. I'm talking about the chat. It's buzzing already. We've got Phil, Comics Talk Weekly. Sweet, I got here in time for the good seats. Yes, you did indeed, sir. We've got a name I don't recognise. Is it Copy 801? I haven't.
Yo.
Yo, what's happening, Copy? I haven't seen you in ages, sir. Since, what was it? Last time he jumped on was the Killer Comic Show After Dark, where he was like, there was about 27 of them in a car, and they were driving somewhere.
We don't talk about the After Dark show. If you want to see what it was all about, go check that.
Even he admits, though, it has been a while, ladies and gentlemen. It has indeed. Good evening. Man like Triple G, easy, sir. Thank you for stopping by. Have you been raiding Al Ewing's cupboards this week? I wonder what he got from Aldi in his shopping. Looking forward to that. We've got James the Colic. Yeah, look, Al.
You can't speak.
I can't speak. He can't spell. But we got the Killer Comic Show. Wow, I can't spell. Show. There we go. Yep, and we got Copy 801 with. Is he having a tipple or a triple? What up?
Of what?
Of what? I don't know what he's having. We've got Padawan Collector, thank you so much for joining. We have last week's competition winner, Connie Dalton. That was posted to you. Your T-shirt was posted to you yesterday, so you should get it by Saturday. Apologies for the delay, but as I mentioned, there's no excuse, Connie. I do apologise. I'm so sorry. The
only excuse is we're male. That's our excuse.
Exactly. So I'm going to blame it on the rubbish mail service for you not getting it. There we go.
Nice.
Everyone's a winner.
Nice.
We've got Leon Russell. Thank you. Looking as smart as ever in your Trilby hat. And we have man like Mark Oldwood wearing the Killer Comics merch in his latest video. I've got to say, I really, really enjoyed that video.
It's great.
If I didn't think there was another man that could say killer as well as we do, but Mark is up there, and he picked three. I think 3 out of the 5 comics he chose were killer comic recommendations from the show, which is always good to hear. Always good to hear.
And in fairness, I thought Tom was the only one that could look as good in the Killer Comic merch, but Mark proved me wrong.
I think Tom has now gone down to the 3rd best looking man on YouTube. I think he has. We've got Keep It Comics. Thank you for checking in. Connie is saying, I'm not even in Northern Ireland yet, so it's okay. I won't be there until next Wednesday, so it'll probably beat me home. Hopefully. I really hope it does. Adam Hills, 2009. Hi, lads. Galad, I'm catching you live again. Hope all is well. We are all well here, sir. We are all well. We've got Tim. We was just talking about you, sir. All good. Evening. Thank you very much. And thank goodness you had a free XL. We cater for all sizes, all shapes and sizes. All inclusive. All inclusive. That's what we like to do. We are the people show. So if we can cater for the people, then we're just doing more goodness, aren't we? So obviously we start the show off with what everyone picked up this week. So as it's me and you, do you want to go first? Because you weren't here last week. So I'm going to grill you this week. Go on, show me what you got.
I'm doubling up. So speaking of Tim and the Hobgoblin's Hideaway, I'm going to start off with
what a segue.
What a segue. Did you like it? You know, I'm learning. My first ever CBCS slab. Guys, this was a big moment for me. I only have ever purchased CGC slabs. I even have my own CGC account to send my own books away. So this was a big moment for me. And was I not disappointed? These are absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So this is X-Men 10. This is the Frankie's exclusive Mike Mayhew cover. And this was part of the Hobgoblin's Hideaway sort of Black Friday claim sale. And this was an absolute bargain. But as soon as this arrived, the first thing that I noticed was how solid the slab is compared to CGC. And the only thing, and I mentioned this to Tim, and I think everybody agrees, is the label. The label could be a little bit sexier, to be fair. But thank you so much, Tim and Lucy, for bomb-proof packaging to get that over to me. So that's my first CBCS slab. I'm really happy with.
Well, Andy, like you mentioned, like we literally just spoke offline before I come on the show about the CBCS label. I think they've invested so much in, like, a lot of people say the CBCS is superbly packaged. Like it really is a grade up from CGC. It's kind of that they just skimped at the last minute on the label.
It's almost like it was a horrible afterthought. Yeah. I was ready to go on my computer and go in Photoshop and actually mock up some ideas and send it to them, because I think if they got the label right, I think it would be the complete package. I can't see any reason why CGC would get the nod. But just in your hand, I've heard a lot of people saying that it just feels solid, and it really does. It just feels as if it's not going to fall apart like a CGC slab.
Yeah. I think Connie is right on that. That is an absolute beautiful cover. Copy 801 says sick book, great grade. Legendary builds. Welcome, Joshua. Thank you very much, sir. Hi, guys. Just hopped on. God, he's catching 2 live shows. This is great.
Whoa.
Love
Double dipping.
All the way over from Canada. So yes.
Nice. I've got some more. So this, as I say, this was a double.
Everyone's loving your slab, Andy. Look, a beautiful slab. Hey. Is this the perpetual show? Is it? Yeah, you can take that.
What can I say? They've missed me on my slabs. So next up is the Last Ronin Design Archive variant. So this is from Not Quite Mint. So got a lovely package from Tom this week. So I was happy to add that to the collection.
Loves Tom's lovely package.
He I'm telling you, he's quick delivery. So Black Panther. Did I just say that out loud? Black Panther issue number 1, the Scotty Young variant. I'm a little bit of a sucker when it comes to Scotty Young, I must admit.
Yep, I got that as well.
I've got the Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 32. Just because I liked the cover. This is the Anchor variant, I believe. We've got Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, issue number 1, the lovely Rose Besh cover.
That's that one you covered a week, didn't it?
I think it certainly won for one of us, I believe. So I was happy to get that. This one was one of the back issues that Tom had on his site. So this is Spawn issue number 97. Lovely Angela cover there, and fantastic artwork by Greg Capullo and Todd McFarlane. So I could not pass this up.
Nice.
And there's a 50% sale on at the minute for everybody who wants to go and check that out.
Yes, there is.
I don't remember ordering this up, but thank you anyway, Tom. Venom, another variant for issue number 1, which I was happy to add to the collection. And we have Phantom Starkiller. This is a glow-in-the-dark issue number 1. And this, I haven't tested the glow-in-the-dark ability, but it just looks super cool. And it's actually a really good read as well. So I'd highly recommend it to anybody.
That's nice. This
was a gift from Tom, because he's one of the most thoughtful, genuine, loveliest people in the world. When I said that I like this.
Is that the one?
So this was my.
Was that the one?
This is the 1 in 25, I think it is.
Nice.
This is a Bill Sienkiewicz Venom issue number 1. So thank you so much for that.
See you later, Copy. Have a good one, mate. Hopefully see you soon.
Cheers. Thanks for dropping in. House of Slaughter issue number 1.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. Now, these are some of the other pickups that I got from the Hobgoblin Hideaway claim sale. Next up is Uncanny X-Force issue number 1. But this is the J. Scott Campbell variant, nice, and it is signed as well.
Nice.
So that was an absolute bargain. I got that for, so thank you for that. This one I just took a fancy to. I liked the cover. It spoke to me, if you will. It was Pinhead issue number 1.
He looks like you, mate. He does look like you.
He looks at me on a good day. So this is a lovely. Who doesn't love a foil cover? To be fair, so happy to pick that up. And then I got the 7th printing of Star Wars issue number 1 because I like the colour. For no other reason, I like the colour. We're nearly there, guys. Next 2 were pickups from Jester's Comics in the UK. I got The Munsters, issue number 1.
I love that. I used to love that show growing up. Absolutely loved it.
And issue number 2. And I believe that these were 1997 San Diego Comic-Con when these were released. So these were cheap as chips. I literally picked these up for a couple of quid each, guys. And they're probably very fine to VF minus condition. So could not say no. And last, but certainly not least, I picked these up on eBay. I got Marvel Zombies, issue number 1, issue number 2, issue number 3, issue number 4, and last but not least, issue number 5. So some of these are the main covers, some of them are the variant covers. Like issue number 1 is the second printing, I believe, of issue number 1. So I think that was me. What about you, Charlie? What did you pick up?
Well, first of all, I'm just going to give a shout out to Panels in the Half Pint Superhero. I really want him to change his name to that because I just think it works so much better. Every time I say his name, I sing the Turtles theme tune. Panels in a Half Pint.
I thought I was the only one. Yeah, Panels in a Half Pint.
Welcome, Sean. Comic Deal says, love a foily pinhead. That's what wasn't we calling you and James that at Thought Bubble?
You called us a lot of things, to be fair.
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did. I haven't actually. I didn't really pick up that much. I haven't been out shopping to my wife's delight, but I haven't been. I did manage to get this the 4th member of the Killer Comic Show. So obviously, Mr. John Boy Mayers. He has done this local comic shop day cover for Venom number 2. So nice. I got that from Galactic Comics. I've got to say, even though this is just a standard cover, it does look great.
Really nice.
It really does look awesome. And like John Boy Mayers, he's been over at I think he was at Emerald City Comic Con, and I was speaking to him while he was over there, and he sent me like some of the pictures some of the remarks that he did. He's just some of the stuff is just incredible. Like we see the remarks of what artists were doing when we was at Thought Bubble, and how quick they do it, and how easy it looks for them. Something like that for me would take me a bit. I mean, I've been working on bloody Gertrude from...
Are you still working on that?
I Hate Fairyland. I'm working it, but then I keep adding little bits to it because I'm a perfectionist. So I am going to post it. I'm going to get it finished tonight or tomorrow and then post it up on Instagram for everyone to slate and say how shit it looks. But we'll see. Yeah, Comic Deal. Panels in a Half Pint was probably the safest of the new name suggestions we had on that fateful evening in the Majestic Hotel bar. Funny enough, Charlie, the same theme tune was why I partially picked it, though. See, there we go. Look, Legendary Bill is such a cool freaking cover. It is indeed, honestly. It really, really is. And, yeah, Keep It Comics loves that cover as well. Now, that's that. I picked that up, but then our good friend, the Sexy Fireman, the 3rd sexiest man on YouTube after... Who did we say was number 1?
No, it certainly wasn't me.
No, it was John... What's his name from The Office? The American Office.
Keep going.
It was him, whatever, and then it was number 2, Mark Oldroyd, and then it's now number 3, Tom Malin. So he sent me some an early Christmas present. He sent me these. I think you might have seen them over on Instagram. He sent me some of these prints.
Nice.
Being a massive Harley Quinn fan, he sent me this, and he's even gone over the detailing of putting the pudding tattoo upside down. Look at that, absolutely amazing. Love that. And then he sent me this one, but I did my own handiwork. And sharpied the frame, a white frame, sharpied it, black and red, to fit in with Harley Quinzel. And I'm going to add the diamonds onto it. And then this is going to take place on my wall behind me. But this is a segment that everybody has been missing, and it's the craft Killer Comics. This is Killer Comic Craft Show. This is what we're doing. Like I'm gonna keep going with this. Yeah. What else did I? No, I didn't pick up anything else, but that was it. That was honestly it, and it was great, just like picking it. And obviously, I got the Scotty Young Black Panther variant cover as well, which is awesome. And there we have it. Look, Connie. Oh, that's the arts and crafts segment on the Killer Comic Show. Yes, it is. And then Connie said it's John Krasinski. A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place. That is it. Yeah, John Krasinski's number 1. Tom Maley's number 2, and Mark Oldroyd's number 2, and Tom has been demoted to YouTube's.
I just love the fact that I'm not even on the list. I don't know whether to be offended or.
Oh, right. No, mine. I put the list together. I put the list together, and I'm not even on it.
and it's probably worth saying. Speaking of Tom, he's obviously not with us this evening. He's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong. He's literally getting some rest because he's been literally fighting a fire for the last 3 nights and hasn't slept in about 60 hours. And that's no joke. That's honest. Plus doing his day job as well. So that's the reason why he's having a little bit of a night off. So sweet dreams. Sweet dreams, Tom.
We gave him the night off. He won't get paid for tonight, so it's all good. No, it's all good. But Keep It Comics, that cover, in my opinion, is better than the one in 25. I assume you're talking about the Venom, I guess.
Wash your mouth out, keeping.
Do you want to hold your one up? Do you want to hold your one up?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm offended now.
There we go. Andy beat me to it. There we go. And it is is that issue? That's from the issue number 1, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's issue number 1. Yeah, yours is issue number 2. Yeah?
This is issue number 2. But this is
that's the thing, though. Yours could have easily been a 1 in 25.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known. The only thing I mentioned this to you. The only thing I don't like about it is the local comic shop day. I think that kind of just. I don't like it, but I love the cover, love the artwork and stuff. That's very even Sharpie colouring. It is indeed. And I did that while looking after a 3-year-old as well. So, yeah, hats off to me. Mark's now having another dig at Andy saying I've got more hair than Andy. And type in...
I think I might just miss another week.
Go for it. That's cool. Type in 1 in chat for a prayer for Tom. There we go. I'm literally just going to put a 1 in because, yes, let's just type in. There we go. And, Keep It Comics was talking about that. So, it's that time of the show where we... What do we do now? We get into the slides, don't we? Yes, we do. We get into the slides. This is the interesting part. So, obviously, you mentioned our good friend Tom Maiden at Not Quite Mint has got a staggering 50% sale on all single issues. This has been live for the last couple of weeks over on notquitemint.com. Honestly, there's some seriously good stuff over there. Like, you can pick up comics for £1.75. Like, Tom won't mind me saying this, but you can pick up Jock's new One Dark Night for £1.75 or £2.25 or £1.75. Either way, you're getting absolutely bargains and steals over at notquitemint.com. Check them out. You can get back issues, current issues, everything. Treat yourself for Christmas. Treat your loved one for Christmas. Just head over there. Why not? Do you know what I mean? But he doesn't also... It's not just the comics that he does. He's also got his slabs. He's got his art shop as well. So he's really, really doing some amazing stuff. If you want to head over and pick up some Harley Quinn or Deadpool or Wolverine or Yoda, head over there, check them out, and you can pick up some absolutely amazing stuff. And they are on, there we go, look, Judge Dredd. And they are on discount as well. They're discounted as well. So why wouldn't you head over there? Get yourself a bargain. So head over there. But then, so that's enough of the promotional side of things. That's the business end out of the way. Let's just get straight into.
Love that theme tune.
It's good, isn't it? It's good. Yeah, this is the killer covers December 8th. So this is the killer covers for this week. Last week, you weren't even bloody here and you won. It was pretty close, to be fair. I came second.
It wasn't close enough, though, Charlie.
It weren't close enough. And I'm now starting to think that it was the sympathy vote for my birthday on that one time I did win.
That one time.
November the 25th. Yeah, it was 25th or 26th. But honestly, this is the killer covers for December 8th. So up first, I've gone, right, with Captain America, Iron Man, issue number 1. This is the 1 in 50 incentive variant cover by the fantastic Alex Ross. Now, it might not look as intricate as some of the other covers that we've got to show for this week, but I'm literally just looking at the detailing on this, and for me the artwork is sublime, but the detailing of the reflection of the shield and stuff like that must just take some serious time to do. Like, that's incredible.
Do you know, it's a really nice cover. Do you know the only disappointing thing about it, Charlie, is that you have to buy 50 of the other covers to be able to even get the chance of getting this.
That's the thing.
So this isn't the people's cover, because
Do you know though, like with this, like they've obviously got the trade version. They've got like the 1 in 50 trade incentive, and they've got like the logo over the top of it. With this one, you would have just took the Marvel off the bottom corner, wouldn't you? You would have just removed it. And the thing is with this,
I think though that because this is only like I say only a 1 in 50, probably the 1 in 100 has a little Marvel logo taken off it.
But and this is the thing again, Marvel. This is just going to come as a standard cover, even as a 1 in 50. It's just going to be a standard cover. It's not going to be anything special. So the picture is probably doing more justice than the actual comic will. I mean, if you stick this in a Millar, you'll get the reflection, you'll get it. But it's just one thing that really annoys me about Marvel. You spend all that money to get like a 1 in 50. I mean, and what's the Venom one? Is that just a standard cover that you've got? Not a standard cover for the Venom.
The Sienkiewicz one?
Yeah.
That's a 1 in 25, I believe.
Yeah, but it's not like a stock. It's not a card stock, is it?
No.
See, that's the only thing. If Marvel started doing that, they would get like it looks so much better than CGC. But yeah, that's my cover. I kind of went for this. I went for this. The Captain America Iron Man one, Alex Ross 1 in 50 and Senate variant cover.
The interesting thing about these covers now that we've got that competitive about this particular segment is that we don't actually share what covers each other's going to pick, so it's a little bit of a surprise to us. So we can't sort of build up hate for those covers. Yeah. But this is Alex Ross. But the question that everybody's got to ask is this the best Alex Ross cover that you've seen? I think the answer would probably say no.
No. And who have we got next? We've got this. Sorry, this for me. This is my winner.
So this is Invincible Red Sonja number 7 from Dynamite Comics. This is my pick of the week. This is absolute filth in every sense of the word. Carla Cohen has absolutely knocked this out the park. This is a 1 in 10 Virgin incentive. Guys, there's not really much I need to say about this. This has won. So, like, Charlie.
So I'm just typing into the chat, but this is great. Like, do you know what she does really, really well? Like Carla Cohen, and it's quite like I'm surprised I haven't taken it off Instagram because Instagram's taken off less. She basically does her artwork, and then I don't know what she tips over it, but I think it's like an oil coating or something. It's just the way she does it. Like I can kind of compare it to Nigella Lawson cooking, like manipulating cupcakes and stuff. The way Carla Cohen does
manipulating cupcakes.
Yeah, she puts them in the oven. She goes, "Now we're going to put this cupcake in the oven," like stuff like. Do you know what I mean? But when Carla Cohen's got her comics and her artwork and stuff, and she's tipping like the oil coating over it, it just makes you want to buy it. It could be the most rubbish comic, but it makes you want to buy it. Like that makes me want to buy it.
Like the thing is as well is like, in the climate that we're in at the minute with COVID and everything else, it's dangerous. You don't want to be licking a sword first and foremost, and the second thing, you don't want to be licking a bloody sword. So like she's a dangerous lassie. This person.
She is, and let's be honest, is that the blood off of her tongue, or is she licking blood off it?
Look at the detail, like just to take a wee minute here, like look at the detail on the tongue though. Like that just isn't a normal tongue. That is like a detailed tongue.
That is great. And what
can I just say detailed tongue?
It is a detailed
comic show.
We're having a detailed tongue in conversation here. There we go. Connie Dalton has said that cover for Cap and Iron Man is so good. If I collected single issues, I'd be all over it. If they have the shield as embossed foil part, then I'm in. That's a good call. It's Marvel. They're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. It's not. You're going to have to do. Yeah, you can come on the Killer Comics craft show and you can show us what you did. That you made your own.
Or a 3D version.
A 3D version. That'd be great. That would be good. Leon Russell. Half the joy of collecting for me is displaying the real beautiful covers. There we go.
I wouldn't be allowed to display this. To be fair, I'd be divorced.
Absolute filth from Triple G. Yeah. Comic deal. How unsanitary. There we go. There we go. It's varnish for the oil paint. There we go. I knew it wasn't syrup. I'm all for licking swords, but swords drenched in blood. How do you know it's not syrup?
Strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam. There we go. Lucky she's invincible, I guess. Hydra Collectibles is sweating at the thought of this. Mark Oldroyd. Evening, Luke, by the way. It's a medieval lateral flow test. There we go. Look. There we go. It's a medieval lateral flow test. And I think COVID is probably the last thing she would be worried about, licking that sword. And there we go. The comic room. Welcome, sir. Carla Cohen is amazing. Please get her on the show. Do you know what? Next year she will be on the show. I can say that. I'll guarantee you that. 100%. I guarantee that she'll be on the show because I've got her word. Because she couldn't make it this year, so we've got her in. We've got her in. I was going to say we've got her in a lockup, but that sounds we haven't got her in a lockup.
We did have her on the show until you made that comment.
We did, yeah. But yeah, that's Carla Cohen. Dynamite, Invincible Red Sonja, issue number 7. Andy smashed it out of the park, as well as Carla Cohen has with this cover. And then who have we got now? We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is Tom's pick, and this is obviously the homage to the fantastic film that everyone knows. And this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue 124. And this is the Tyler Kirkham variant A.
Tom's went for nostalgia. I take my hat off if I had one on to Tom, because he's went for nostalgia, because he's obviously been sweating at the fact that he knows that we're going to pick some absolute bangers when it comes to covers. So he's went for some Turtles.
Do you know what? I really like this cover.
So do I.
And do you know
what?
There's a variant B as well that's literally got nothing on it, and it doesn't have the same effect. Like normally, sometimes you get Virgin variants that you're like, oh, that's a really nice standout piece of art. It looks nice without the text or logos over it. This is the other side of that. This is better with the logos and the text on it.
And he's obviously playing to the viewers as well, because he knows that Luke's going to vote for this one. He knows that James is going to vote for this one.
Yeah, there we go.
Tom.
And probably Tina's in Panels in a Half Pint Superhero is going to vote for this as well.
Absolutely.
But there we go. So that's the 3 covers. Let's get them on. Let's get them on the poll. So there we go. The poll is up. Cast your votes now, and we will. I'm back in the seat this week, so I will announce the winners. Unlike what Andy does, I think the 3 times that he's kind of done this, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, we've got to go," and no one's none the wiser. So it is up, and at the moment, it's Red Sonja's just steaming away with it, 60%. Captain America's got 40%, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has nothing.
It's early days. We've got 5 votes. Normally by the end of this, we've got at least 20 or 25. So
exactly.
It's early days.
It is an early day, but it's a good start to the show. We've had some good pickups. We've got some strong covers. Moving swiftly on, we have week 48 review. So obviously these are the comics from last week. Andy's, your pick was Hotell Volume 2, issue number 1 from AWA Upshot. Mine was Images Comics King of Spies, issue number 1. We had Tom's pick from Boom Studios, which was obviously Dark Blood, issue number 5. And then we had the viewer's choice. It was close up until I think it was yesterday. It was between Venom number 2 and Ablaze Animal Castle. And Animal Castle nicked it at the last minute, and obviously got to appear on the show this week. So we've got 4 strong comics to get to. And I think we should start with seeing that Tom's not here, we should kind of start with him. This is obviously by the fantastic LaToya Morgan. This is Dark Blood, issue number 5, with the art by Moises Hidalgo. Main cover by Valentin Delandro, and cover B by Juni Barr. Andy, what did you think of this, mate?
I was really tentative about this issue, because I think it was fair to say that issue 4 I thought was just a little bit slow. For me, and it kind of felt as if it didn't move forward for me. I always like, especially if it's a 5 or 6 issue run, that every issue at least achieves something. I didn't use the word filler issue, because I think the artwork and the writing was far too good. But issue 5 for me was arguably the best issue that I've read of the series so far. I wasn't too sure where LaToya was going to go with the character. And a lot of questions that were asked in the first sort of 3 or 4 issues were pretty much answered. And we've got to the stage now where we're just really looking forward to that next issue to close this up. Ultimately, in this issue, Avery confronts the man who's been experimenting on him. And we sort of find out about the truth of his escape during the war. And as part of that, it's revealed potentially how a mixture of the experimentation and, dare I say, an accident that happened during the World War could have created this sort of superpower that Avery has. So yeah, for me, the artwork in this was absolutely stunning. It kept the tension going as well, because I love the way that LaToya sort of, there's a lot of comics that you can read that bounce back and forward in timelines, and you just get completely lost. But I think the beauty of this book is that LaToya is so good at what she does that she takes us on that journey, and at no point do you feel as if you're getting lost, even after 5 issues. What be yourself, Charlie? What did you think?
I've got to say, like, issue number 4 for me, I read it, but I was like, it hasn't been as interesting and as gripping as the 3 issues before it. So I was kind of a bit tentative as you were going into it. I was like, I really don't want this to go that way. And I think every comic, no matter how many you read, there's always going to be 1 or 2 issues that kind of not lapse, but they kind of, maybe they do it just to pique your interest in another way. You think, right, I've given that, and I'm going to be banging for the next issue and stuff. And I think this issue number 5 really did that. Obviously, the art has been consistent throughout. It's been really, really good. The story for me, this I found really, really interesting, because we kind of find out more about Avery. We find out much more about him. We find out what happened to him when he was captured by the Germans. We find out how he kind of got out of that with his commandant and stuff. And then we also find out about, he was kind of like a lab rat with what happened. And we found out how he kind of got his superpowers and how he's kind of dealing with them and stuff. So it's setting it up for a big finale. I think I'm really fighting for Avery. He's definitely the kind of superhero. I think me and yourself said this at the start. He's kind of like the superhero that we kind of need. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of a regular human being, but
it definitely had a little bit of like Captain America going on with it, with like the super serum and all that sort of stuff, especially with the fact that he confronted the Doctor and stuff like that. I think this particular issue told me that the powers that he has are kind of a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And this is what the last issue, I believe, will tell us, and hopefully we'll get into a second volume, all going well. Hopefully, if LaToya's watching the rewind, that she can maybe drop us a message and let us know if there is going to be a volume 2 for this. Unless you know, Charlie.
No. I spoke to LaToya the other day, and she said she was going to jump in if she wasn't busy and stuff, as she always does. She kind of just appears now and again. We kind of like, we're not even privy to when she's coming on. She kind of just jumps in the chat a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, we've been fighting LaToya's corner for this. Like, we've been speaking to like Ross Ritchie and Boom Studios and trying to get this a second arc and everything coming. But in this issue, I don't know if you watched. I think you did Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
The old guy in it really reminds me of this, like the fact that he was injected with a serum and he was kind of hiding away from not wanting people to find out. Do you think that Avery is the only person that this has happened to? Because the Doctor did mention that they've tried it on various people. Him and the group have tried it on various people that were their bodies were kind of dying and they needed repairing and stuff like that. Because I was kind of like, this story is only focused on Avery and his wife and his family and how he's dealing with everything. But is he the only one?
Yeah, and no, it's a really good point. It's definitely something I'd considered. I think maybe where this might lead into is the difference between sort of Captain America and what you're talking about, Falcon Winter Soldier is. I think that the experiments that are happening are only going to be on black men and black women, and I think that's maybe where they're going with this, because if you remember in this particular issue as well, there was a really poignant panel near the end of the book where he was looking at the eyes of the person, and in the reflection you could see an act that was happening that I won't spoil for anybody, but it was one of the panels that really stopped me in my tracks, because I think we'd mentioned in issue like 1 and 2, there was maybe some language and words that were used that you just don't want to hear. It makes you uncomfortable. But it was certainly part of the world that obviously Avery was living in. And I think this particular panel as well really summed up what this book is kind of about and what Avery had to go through. So if anything, if you only pick up this issue, pick it up for that panel just to see what it was like. But for me, I think that's where this is going to go. And it kind of ties into maybe the name of the book as well. That's maybe what it will lead to. But who knows? I think that's the beauty of this book. LaToya hasn't it's written it in such a way that it can go in many different shapes and in many different forms, and I guess that's the reason why we've been hanging on for every single issue and looking forward to it. So we'll see where the last issue goes.
Like, this is just another string to LaToya's bow. I mean, let's not forget she's done some amazing stuff. I mean, she's one of the writers on Walking Dead, the fantastic Walking Dead series. I mean, that's an accomplishment. Being like, that show's gone on forever, and when we had her on the show and we was discussing it, even she was surprised of how successful it's been. And I mean, the series and the episodes that she's done are incredible. And for me, you can kind of get essences of the horror and stuff in this comic. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I mean, Dark Blood, I'm just trying to think, I'm starting to think, is Dark Blood the actual serum that he's been given? Is that the name of it? I mean, it's such an interesting comic. It's such a great comic.
And that's the reason why we're going to read issue number 6. And for me, I'd say it's definitely been one of the top reads for me. Mm-hmm. It's kept my interest. And I think Avery is probably one of the most invested characters that mm-hmm. I've been in quite a while.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to go back to the covers of the week. James has said, I like the homage, but it's Ralph and 3 stupid characters, so I'm going for the Licky Sword Lady. Okay, I think that was the official title for it on League of Comics. It is the Carla Cohen Licky Sword Lady 1 in 10 incentive variant cover. Connie Dalton says Dark Blood sounds really, really interesting. Honestly, we don't tend to get it wrong. Sometimes we get it wrong, but this is a definitely standout comic. 100%. It is definitely worth a read. Definitely.
I know that we're in talks to try and get some made in Korea trade paperbacks, mm-hmm. but when this goes to trade paperback, we might see if we can get LaToya to sign some and send it over to us, and we can maybe do one as a giveaway.
Oh, why not? I'm sure we can speak to her about that. Triple G loves his comics. It is such a great series. It is. It really, really is. And then we've got the lovely Lucy Andrews. This is Tim's better half, who keeps him in check. So welcome, darling. Thank you very much. So yes, for me, this is definitely a killer. 100%. This is a killer.
Killer for me.
James is just full of it. Ironically, Licky Sword Lady is also my most searched item on certain adult sites. Talking about adult. Greeting pimps. There we go. We've got everyone's favourite. Why is it not showing up? I can't show up his. There we go. The greetings pimps.
There he is.
Greetings pimps and pinups. There we go. So there is.
I'm so glad that his comment did come up, because I thought you'd literally completely lost it there. Like, what are you talking about?
Why is it not? But it's definitely there. Right, so anyway, that is Dark Blood by Boom Studios, issue number 5. Killer from me, killer from Andy. It was Tom's pick, so it must have been a killer. Up next we have this was awesome. This was my pick. This is Image Comics King of Spies, issue number 1, written by the fantastic Mark Millar and art and cover art by Matteo Scalera. We've got the main cover by Matteo Scalera, cover B, the Matteo Scalera black and white variant cover. We have cover C by Mark Chiarello, and we have cover D, which is my favourite, by Oscar Yildirim. For me, I'm massively into my like James Bond and secret agent and espionage and stuff for me. So this for me was a win straight off the bat. Like, I've picked up issue. I've added this to my pull list. I've picked up cover A, and I've picked up cover D as well. This was just. I loved it. I thought it was wicked. It tells a story of a secret agent that's been in the business for years. He's done all sorts. He's killed loved ones. He's killed villains. He's held hostages. He's done everything, and he's literally on his last legs. He's been told he's got 6 to 9 months to live, or 6 months to a year to live, and it's kind of setting the wheels in motion now. He's getting old. He's getting a bit fat. He's getting drunk at the gentleman's working man's club in Mayfair and stuff. And he's
aren't we all?
Yes, we are. We're all getting that way. And he's literally just living the life, but something in him just flips, and he thinks, I'm not letting people get away with it. And this, for a first issue, this was really, really enjoying. I think it had the perfect blend of like feelings towards the main character dying. It had the perfect blend of action, adult humor in parts and stuff. I think Image Comic have really, really pulled one that's gone under the radar a bit, if I'm honest. I think there wasn't really that much talk about it. I think if you hadn't have picked this as one of your indie picks a few weeks ago, I don't think I would have picked this up because I wouldn't have been looking out for it. And yeah, it's kind of the first cover is obviously of his favourite whiskey and his cobs that he likes to smoke on the balcony of the gentleman's club after he's done the job and stuff like that. But it's a good story. It's quite close to heart because he's kind of a secret agent, espionage. He's a killer, but he's also a family man, and I think he's trying to build bonds he's trying to build bridges that he's broken over the years. And I'm all for this, man. I am in this. I am 100% up for this. There's James Bond touches in this that obviously you can, even looking at the cover of it, you'd recognise this. Cover D for me really grabbed my eye with the fact that it's got like the London skylight. Like the detailing on that is sublime, and that's just a standard cover. They're great covers. I really, really loved it.
Yeah, I love the covers. I don't think anybody should be put off if they're not a James Bond fan, because I think this actually flips James Bond and what James Bond stands for on its head. Certainly for first of all, it's Mark Millar, not Millar, for all our American friends. It's definitely Mark Millar.
Millar is what you put your comics in. Millar,
that's exactly it. Yeah, exactly.
Who writes the comics. There we go.
But yeah, so for me, I was really glad, first and foremost, that we picked this to read, because I was intrigued to see if it was just going to be another James Bond story. But I love the way that Mark Millar is taken what James Bond stands for, and is basically critiqued his every aspect of what James Bond is about. This is kind of like James Bond if he's been replaced. If he hasn't been replaced, I should say, with a newer, younger model. This is a 60-year-old guy who's seen it, done it, and dare I say, he's kind of starting to regret everything that he's done in the past and what effectively, dare I say it, the monarchy in England stood for in years gone by. He's starting to question the actions that he could have done for Queen and country, and he starts to look at the people that he's maybe started to realise that they're maybe not the bad guys, that they're the people that he should have been going after. And with him only having this 6 months to live, he's basically saying, well, I'm going to right all the wrongs, and if I'm going to leave, I'm going to leave with a bang. And I think there's one panel where it says, if I'm going to leave, then all you bees are going to come with me, is basically what he says. There was some silly parts to this. I don't know if you caught some of them. So, first of all, this is meant to be just like a normal guy, who's been trained, whether it be in the MI5 or the SAS or whatever it is. But some of the stuff that he'd done through this comic was superhero stuff. He fell from a 14-story building
onto
and
a car,
land dead center in a moving ambulance. That moving ambulance had 2 people in it, plus a pregnant lady who he didn't injure.
And he delivered the baby.
And then he delivers it, but he catches the baby. And then finds himself from the ambulance in a plane. And there was a moment there where I actually flicked back a few pages to go, oh, if I have a page cut out? Because he got from being in a car to in a plane. And I've no idea within 2 panels how he actually got there. So, Charlie, did you notice that? I thought that was just completely weird.
Yeah, I mean, like there was some parts in it, but then when you look at the James Bond film, like he's fighting on a scaffolding site, and then he literally cuts the chain and slides down about 50 floors and lands perfectly. And I think all he does is just brush his shirt off, ties lace, and cracks on. So I think there is essences of stupidity in it, but I think that kind of just adds to it, because I was like, I'm really enjoying this, and I was kind of on the edge of my seat thinking, oh, how's he going to get away with this? The one thing I didn't understand is that how did he get up to the plane? That was a bit, I was like, what?
As much as I enjoyed it, but it became a little bit slapstick for me in some areas, and it became a little bit like Berserker. It felt like I was reading the English version of Berserker.
I mean, Mark has asked, is this different to Kingsman? I would say so. If someone was to say to me, what is King of Spies like? I would say it's a perfect blend of Layer Cake, James Bond, and the Kingsman. I think it's got essences of all of that put into a pie, and then image of graced us with this. I enjoyed it. I'm all for it. There's not many comics that I don't tend to like. I do kind of enjoy everything. But this piqued my interest, and to be honest, it piqued my interest because of cover D. But then when I kind of looked at cover B, the main cover, and then cover C as well, I was like, yeah, this is probably I've probably got doubles of this, and it only came out last week.
And it's and you'll notice as well the first couple of pages it says it's written for Netflix, so you just know that, and this is only 4 issues as well, so so Mark's got a lot to cram into this. So this is primed to be on a TV show or a one-off movie. But for me, it was really good, and it's a killer on the basis that I'm invested in the character, and I'm really interested to see him flying through the air and doing some berserker stuff.
100%. It's a definite killer for me. We've got Cali Comics just checked in. Hello all. Thank you very much for joining. Mark Aldwood agrees with me. It is a layer cake. Great movie. We've got Mr. It's Just Dino. Fantastic Instagram account. I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen anyone with as many trade paperbacks or hardback books as this gentleman. Just sliding in here to wish you all a happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you as well, Dean. I hope you have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Connie Dalton, cover D is my favourite. It honestly, I've seen it up close, and it really is a great cover. Like honestly, that for me, like that is, if that was a foil cover, like I have to do this, right? I'm literally just going to change talking about foil covers. I've literally just dropped in Jenny Frisson's Instagram account, because she has just posted a C2E2 post of her posters that you could buy, and it's of the Wonder Woman, and one of the posters, it's got the metallic, so as she's going like that, you can see them. It's amazing, guys. Click on that link, check it out. It's fantastic. And what's her account, Andy? Who's her name?
I think it's Jenny Frisson.
There we go. Jenny Frisson. Fantastic. And there we go. So, yeah, cover D is also my favourite as well, Connie. And James, he does look a little Pierce Brosnan-esque on cover C. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Almost too much. It's like almost too much like James Bondish. But we haven't even mentioned the artwork in this. Like, can we just take a moment to enjoy that last page of the comic, which I thought was amazing.
That, for me, was... This is what I'm talking about. Like, he's literally going hell for leather now. He knows he's going to die, and he just doesn't give a shit. And that, obviously, if you're going to pick up this comic, I won't go into too much of spoiling it, but there is that panel plays a part into, I think, 3 or 4 pages before, so you kind of know that something's up. But the action scene in it was great, which is why it was just throughout. I thought the narrative, artwork, killer for me.
Yeah. Matteo does a really good job that drawing the action scenes amazingly. And you almost feel like you're in dead center because it's so quick. Yeah. Even the gunshots and the fact that it's flying through the bodies and stuff like that, it's quite grotesque in some of the panels as well. But it all built up to a really, really good pairing between the two of these guys. And I'm really, if anything, just buy it for the artwork, because it's well worth it. It's a superb job.
And you see a shot of the main character when he's getting dressed, and he's got it from a hangover and stuff like that. And he's not your average 6-pack. He's got a dad bod. He's got a dad bod. He's a 60-year-old with a dad bod. So it's okay to have a dad bod, guys. Okay. You
could feel it. It was like the same sort of way that we all felt after Friday night Thought Bubble, waking up on that Saturday morning. It's just like pure regret.
Well, I was up at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. I was all right. I was fresh-faced and willing to go. Tom, on the other hand, just didn't. I don't think he rocked up until Sunday, did he? But anyway, yeah. So that's a killer for me. That's 2 killers for me.
I'm going to say it's a killer based on how good the character was, and I will read issue 2, but it did have its faults.
Yeah, it did. Before we go on to the next cover of next comics, we take a look at the poll now. At the moment, we have Invincible Red Sonja at 39%. We've got Captain America Iron Man at 39% as well, and we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming up the back at 22%. This is close, man. This is close. It was close this week. It was close last week as well, and then you just picked me at the last minute. But on to the next one, shall we go? Now, this was your pick, sir.
It was indeed. Hotell issue number 1. Now, this is volume 2, so this is the next arc. It's written by John Lees, who's a fellow Glaswegian, and the art is by Dalibor Talajic and Lee Luffridge. And this is by AWA Upshot, which is absolutely...
Pronunciation on there, Andy, was fantastic, mate. Even I struggled.
Did you like it? I went. It was like I went a little bit Polish Scottish.
How long have you been practicing that? Were you practicing before you came on?
I'm still practicing. Can you not tell? So yeah, this is AWA Upshot, and they're absolutely killing it. Some of the stuff they're bringing out is fantastic. The main cover you can see here is by Valentin De Landro, and cover B is by Junie.
No, it's not.
Is that right?
No,
it's not. That says...
No, I've got it wrong.
You haven't. You've copied and pasted.
I've copied and pasted. Right, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Let me find out who these are by. So you keep talking about it, and I'm just going to find out who the main covers are.
No, I'm going to make it really awkward and just do.
Okay, hold on 2 seconds. I've got it. Right, so we've got Hotell Volume 2, issue number 1. We've got the main cover by Kieran Grant. And we have cover B, which is by Deodato. There we go.
Nice. Sorry about that, artists. No, this. I just first and foremost, I hadn't read volume 1 of this, so I was kind of going to.
I'm so glad. I thought I was the only one. I hadn't read it either. So.
And I was concerned. I was like, have I missed this? But I guess the only saving grace with this is a little bit like other books where you just go in and each story is a sort of separate story that you can just dive into. And I believe in volume 1 they all linked into each other, so it's a little bit like Ice Cream Man.
Connie's read volume 1, so Connie, if you wouldn't mind, darling, would you mind posting what you thought about volume 1 in the chat, just so everyone in the chat, if they haven't read it, can have a quick overview and get into volume 2 as well. So thank you. Yeah, go on, Andy.
No, 100%. Definitely do that. What I would say is, after reading only this first issue, it would make me go and read Hotell Volume 1. It was that good as far as I'm concerned. So Hotell, it's an anthology horror series, and it's centered around this hotel called, I think is it the Pierrot Courts Hotel? Am I spelling that correct, or saying that correctly? And this is kind of like a hotel that you find on Route 66 in America. But it only apparently appears to people who are in desperate need. So if they've got sort of, if they've got issues or concerns, or, if they've got fears, this is when this hotel would appear. And it certainly did in this first issue, where we've got this family who are getting away from their mundane mainstream life. The father has lost his job, so he's away to try and find another job. And they hit the Route 66 and they come across this hotel. And it just so happens that this hotel has a room that's free, that's already been paid for. But the people that were meant to be living in it had to leave. Now, that would have been my first indication, Charlie, that there's something a little bit dodgy going on here, because that doesn't sound right. And we basically find ourselves centered around this hotel room. The 2 kids are there, and they obviously want to go out and play. They don't want to be stuck in the room. So it leads halfway through to the young girl going into what I would imagine is the garden of the hotel. And she finds this kind of what would only be described as this horror tree. If you saw this, you would just be you just turn around and go back into the hotel room. You wouldn't be going close to it. And all while this is happening, it's cutting back to the father, who is meant to be going to find a job. And he's telling his wife that, but what he's actually doing is driving his car to the end of the route, where basically the train tracks are. So in your head, I don't know if you were doing the same, Charlie, I was going, is this guy considering committing suicide? And he doesn't do it through this particular issue. But what he does find himself is that he has to go and find his daughter, because she disappears, and he eventually does find the daughter. And we all think that she's been like possessed or demonized or something like that. And it kind of flips the whole story on its head right in the final panel. And it stopped me completely in my tracks. I couldn't believe it. And I thought, John Lees has absolutely nailed this. And I tip my proverbial hat to him, because I did not expect that. And this just set me up for reading every single issue of this and go and finding volume 1. So yeah, for me, this was an absolute killer. I really enjoyed it.
I've got Like, I'm just literally going to say what Connie's saying, what Connie has said. So hold on. So Triple G has said, "Yup, all linked. Yup, all linked. Review vid of Volume 1 on my channel." There we go. Look, a cheeky little promotion there. Nice one to check that out. Plug. There we go. It seems like 4 individual stories at first, but they all link together. So smartly as the story continues, you don't find the hotel until it wants you to find it. Basically, one of my favourite horrors.
There we go. Nice.
Comics. So this year, one of my favorite horror comics. So this year, and then Dean says a note about the trade paperback for Hotel. It's actually missing a little bit of content from the single issues. I think they decided not to include some content that included domestic violence.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting because there is.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I literally. When you chose this one of your indie picks and you chose it for this week, I thought you had already read the previous issues. So I was like, okay. I wanted to read the previous issues, and after reading this, I really got into it, and I found it was quite an unsettling read because I was like, obviously, as you mentioned, like he's driving, and we only find out, I think, after he's done it a few times that he's sitting at the end of this road on the train tracks, and I was like, is he gonna? What is he doing here? Is he kind of? Is he looking to commit suicide, or is he literally just thinking about? Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? What way is he going to go to choose a job and stuff? I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to.
No,
I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy it, but not as much as I thought I was going to, because I think I was expecting more from it. I think from the first cover, like the main cover, I was kind of like, oh, so this is all about shit's going to go down in this hotel, like it's going to burn down and stuff. And then I looked at cover B and was like, oh, that geezer, he's obviously going to be a pivotal character and stuff. And I was kind of like reading the story thinking, this ain't happening yet. Is this meant to happen? Is this? And then as I kept reading, I was like, so this kind of might be like another silver coin type of book type of thing where it all ties around. Obviously, it ties around the hotel, but I wanted to enjoy it. I think I'm invested. I'm going to read like the next coming issues and stuff, but I just thought I was expecting more from it, because the smart turn in it for me was I was so focused on the little girl, thinking, yeah, she's a Fruit Loop. Like literally, she's kind of, the dad's found her. Something's not quite right, and then we get the massive twist at the end where we was all wrong all along. And I think that for me piqued my interest, and I was like, right, this is what I was looking for. This is kind of the horror aspect that I was after.
I think it is John's writing and his ability to kind of suck us into thinking that the young girl was. There was specifically a scene that was drawn, and one of the panels is when she's got her back to us, and I think it's when they just find her at the tree. And you fully expect that when you turn that page, the next panel is just going to be some sort of grotesque monster, and it wasn't. It just kind of like, so it ramped your sort of your blood pressure and your heartbeat way up, and then it was just a girl turning around and just looking at the dad, and it wasn't until that sort of final page where we see that it's actually nothing to do with the wee girl and it's all to do with the wee boy, and we see what evil comes out of that young boy. I just thought it was really smart writing for me, and it wasn't sort of a paint by numbers horror story. It made you think, and it would be definitely one of those ones where maybe, Charlie, when this comes out as a trade paperback, it might be one of those ones where it's actually more enjoyable to read all of them together as opposed to separately.
Do you know what? I think that might be the case. I definitely like Dean and Peter having a chat about like the first volume and stuff, and Pete's asked, is that from issue number 2? And then Dean said, yeah, I think so. It's the pregnant lady with the chap who's after her. It's kind of, I want to read issue number 1 now. Like I want to read volume number 1. I want to read volume number 1 and find out about it, because I also want to know. I'm gonna continue reading this because I want to know how he lost all the money. I kind of want to know how that was set up, how he invested it, how he lost so much money, and why they've just ended up at a hotel.
I think I might be exactly the same. If I think you'll probably enjoy this more if you read volume 1, because it's listening or reading what the guys are saying in the chat. It feels to me that they're already invested and they know who some of these characters are and stuff like that. Whereas we were getting kind of a cold, and we maybe not picked up in some of the the things that anybody who's read the previous volume would have.
Yeah. But I mean, like Triple G again is saying issue 1, then some of the panels, but they may have cut out. I've just bought issue 1, so I'll compare. And then Dean has said, I compared with the digital single issues, and if I remember rightly, it's 1 or 2 pages that are excluded from a trade. That's pretty weird for them to do that from a trade, though. Like, wouldn't you say?
It's whether they had the option. It might have been the case if you don't remove these, then there will be no trade because of the subject matter and maybe the time that it was released and things like that. So
yeah, that is true. But I think I'm going to be invested because I want to find out. I want to find out more about this character. I hope it continues on to issue number 2. But if it is single issues, then it wasn't that good an ending. To be fair, do you see what I mean? If they're going to continue over,
I don't know if it will continue over. I think it's going to be maybe I don't separate. Like almost like Silver Coin, but I think from what the guys are saying in volume 1, they all linked in together, so it's almost like a Hotell universe. If
right, okay. And Pete's just said the guy in those covers is prominent in series 1 and in a painting behind the desk.
There we go. So they would have picked up on all these things where we wouldn't have had a clue.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Mark just said, based on Triple G's review, ordered series number 1. Great to hear. But I'm gonna go with it a killer because I want to read the rest of it. I do want to read the rest of it, and I want to go back. And it's because of this I want to go back and read volume number 1. So yeah, thanks for picking this.
It was. I'm going to go a killer as well, based on the fact that I thought John Lee's was really, really smart horror writing, and he's done the job because I'm going to go and buy volume 1, and I'm going to keep reading the rest of the issues on this. So. Yeah.
And Peter said John Lees was at Thought Bubble and he was super nice.
Yeah.
There we go. I wouldn't want to stay in a room with him though at a hotel.
Any hotel.
Not for me. Not for me. So that was your pick. So that's the third comic. And then up now we have the viewer's choice. I'm so glad this one won because I was reading this anyway and I read this and I read Venom. But this is obviously by the fantastic publishers, Blaze Publishers. This is Animal Castle issue number 1, written by Xavier Dorison, and the art and cover art by Felix Dele. We've got main cover by Felix Dele. We've got the Felix Dele Miss Bangalore and Kids variant cover. We've got the Felix Dele 1 in 30 black and white incentive sketch cover, and then we have the Felix Dele 1 in 10 incentive variant cover. I'm really interested to find out what you thought about this because when I first mentioned Stray Dogs, I think you and James were like, doggy style. Why am I going to read a comic book about dogs? So, Andy, tell me what you thought about this, mate.
So this was one of my picks for my indie pick section. I thought it looked really good. Silly me didn't actually order it or pick it up, so I had to read issue 1 digitally. And I messaged you after reading it for this and said, I just went on to eBay to try and pick up a copy.
Stupid prices, man.
It's silly money. It's like 25, 30 quid for issue number 1. And that kind of tells you everything you need to know. I really, really enjoyed this story. I thought the artwork was so good. It was so in keeping with the story. I think whenever I was talking about this at the indie section, it sort of said it was for people who like stray dogs, and I think that's what would have. It seems to be any comic that has an animal in it, whether it be a cat, whether it be a dog, everybody seems to love it and jump on board for it. And what about this little cat?
This Bangalore.
This little cat. What can I say? It's if you're talking about story writing that makes you invested in a character. I don't think I've ever been invested in a cat as much after 30 pages in my life. I felt all the emotions reading this, and I think this was written fantastically. The artwork was great. The covers were superb, and I'm so glad that Blaze has this comic because I don't think that we would have seen the story that we got on this if it was another publisher, because I think it's maybe been allowed to do things that other publishers aren't. And I'm all in. I'm all invested. I thought this was a great story, great artwork, and if anybody can find me a cheap copy of issue 1, I'd appreciate it.
Have you added this to your pull list after issue number 1?
Yeah,
absolutely. I thought you might. This for me, Blaze. ironically, has set the place alight with this. Like this,
I
I
see
loved.
what you did there, mate. I love
It's
it.
good, wasn't it? I love stray dogs. Like I loved stray dogs, and I didn't hide the fact that I did. This for me was a better first issue than Stray Dogs was. This had
This is 100% better than Stray Dogs. Full stop.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll freely admit, after reading issue 1 of Stray Dogs, I wasn't really that invested. But after reading all the issues, I get it and understand. It was great. It was a great horror story. But this isn't a horror story. This is something completely different. And this kind of like knocks it out the park when it comes to comparison. I think a Blaze have had to use Stray Dogs as a comparison because that's what's going to get people invested in picking up the first issue. I just hope that people pick up issue 2, 3, and so on, and it's not just a one issue flip on eBay.
This I just loved it, and obviously these covers, like the people reading it, I cannot suggest this comic enough. Like it's so well written, the artwork is sublime, and it's graphical, and the violence in it is so hard hitting. Like no one wants to see animals die, no one wants to see animals mistreated or beaten and hurt and stuff like that. But it tells a really good story from the start of it. It tells like this castle where it's run by the president. Now it doesn't take a genius to work out that the president is the character in all of these covers. It's not Miss Bangalore the cat. It's the giant bloody, what is he, a buffalo kind of?
Yeah, I think it looks like a big buffalo, doesn't it?
He's basically the president that runs this hierarchy of animals that are beneath him, and they get the lesser animals to work, and they can work for buttons. Whether it be building or plucking crops, they get buttons that they can use these buttons to pay for their rations, to feed their family and stuff like that. And it kind of, Miss Bangalore, I think she is obviously one of the most prominent characters. She's what is she? She's a widowed cat. This seems a really, really weird conversation I seem to be having. But she's a widowed cat with 2 children that lives with a duck. Right? She lives with a duck. The duck's called Daisy, no? The duck is called Daisy.
I really hope it is called Daisy, because
right.
if it's not, I missed a trick.
So Miss Bangalore lives with a duck called Daisy and her 2 kids. Now, I love this. I love Stray Dogs, but the artwork, the writing, the narrative, and everything is so much better. And this couldn't have been done, as you said, this couldn't have been done by another publisher, because I think the graphical content in this for an animal-led story is so... I usually left with my butt after I bought my books from my...
I feel you.
The graphical content in this is hard-hitting, no matter how you look at it. And the end panels, I was left in so much more shock than I was at the end of issue number 1 for Stray Dogs. I was like, you can see why this is going for crazy money, if I'm honest.
You know how I like to look a little bit deeper into the writing the books and stuff like that. And I, after I'd read the first issue, I sort of took away that, is this a representation of the world that we live in at the minute? So all the people that are out working and stuff like that, we are the cat and the duck and all those types of animals, and the government and everybody else, the hierarchy, they're all the buffalo, and we are sort of working for the man. We're a kind of a slave to the wage, and it feels like, you know, it's kind of like a representation of real life through animal form. And I might just be looking far too deep into this.
Yeah, and 100% I can confirm that her name is Daisy Duck. It is Daisy, 100%, because I just looked down at panels and the Half Pint superhero. It was like Daisy Duck, major copyright infringement. It is Daisy Duck, 100%. It is. I've just checked it out, and it is a bit like George Orwell's Animal Farm. Yeah, much worse, I'd say.
Yeah, no, I can see the representation of Animal Farm, but yeah,
I think the main cover would be better. I really hope. I'm waiting for mine to arrive, but I'm really hoping that the animal castle is. If that was metallic, that would be great.
That'd be gold foil.
Oh my
God, have everything though.
I know, but that was amazing. But yeah, this for me, you can see why this is going for crazy money. You can see why this is flipping for crazy money. It's a proper good story, and massive kudos to Blaze for kind of sneaking up the back and dropping this like a fucking bomb, because that's basically what they've done. And
if a Blaze are watching on the rewind, can you send me issue 1, please? That would be fantastic. Because do you know what gets me? See, after looking on eBay, you can just tell everybody, like, people had like 15 to 20 issues of this. And fair play to them for buying those issues and stuff, but you just know that not one person who's selling this is going to read the book and doesn't have a clue what the content is.
And that's the thing, and that's but there are
End of
figures out
rant.
there. End of rant. This for me is it's a clean sweep. 4 killers. It's been emotional, and to finish on an emotional Animal Castle is
this is 100% killer for me, and possibly my read of the week.
Oh, yeah, I'll agree with that. This was definitely my read of the week, and all these comics are available. They all came out last week, December 1st, so they're all available at local LCSs, other comic facilitators, and if you're looking to spend crazy money, eBay as well. But why not? But we seem to have, we've got you on the show. We've got Mr. Triple G in the chat, so it seems only right that we kind of.
This is Andy's fault from Perpetual Comics. Pep.
We definitely need to get some bagpipes or some Scottish related music on that.
And I can just confirm that Pete has given me the rights to use that. He's happy with us using it, and he's a fucking awesome dude. And if he offers to buy you a drink, just say no to shots, because he will come back with some rancid shots. If it ain't a Jägermeister, he's coming back with some fucking, I don't know, acid in a glass that he gave us at Thought Bubble. But absolutely diamond geezer. Love spending time with him, and we are all going to Newcastle. He doesn't know this yet, but we are all going to Newcastle to stay with him for a couple of weeks, for a weekend.
Surprise!
Just to go out on a raz. So Pete, get your spare room ready, because me, Andy, and Tom are coming up to stay with you for a weekend in January or February. So yes, get away, you. There we go. Look at that. So Andy, take it away, sir.
Indeed, Killer Indies, December 15th. So this is books that are due to come out next week that you might want to pick up. First up, we have Primordial issue number 4 by the fantastic Jeff Lemire, and absolutely stunning artwork by Andrea Sorrentino. Image Comics have been the publisher of the year. They've consistently brought out some of my favorite comics and some of the best writing over the last 12 months. For me, Primordial has been a really consistent book, really interesting covers as well that have come out for this. And issue number 4, we're going to have Leica, Abel, and Baker, who are the 3 animals, obviously, and they're going to continue their journey. But what it basically says here in the synopsis is, can the 3 animals successfully pilot their mysterious ship back on Earth? Yelena and Dr. Pembroke race through East Berlin to transmit a message before the KGB can stop them. So it definitely sounds to me that issue 4 isn't going to stop and slow down with regards to the pace. And I can't wait. This is on my pull list, and one that I really look forward to picking up.
It is a great read. It is a really great read. And yet again, Jeff Lemire's onto something with these animals on the covers, I tell you. Everyone is a sucker for a monkey, a dog, or a cat.
Absolutely. It's the animal show.
And it is a great comic as well.
Next. Another one by Jeff Lemire. It's like he's as if he's not busy enough. Again, this has been one of our favourites as well. So this is May's book, issue number 4, again by Image Comics. And Jeff does the writing, he does the artwork, and he does the cover art for this. Again, all the covers for this link in is similar to Primordial, because it's got a black character.
Andy, is this Image Comics or is it Dark Horse Comics?
Shit, it's Dark Horse Comics. I do this every single week. So if this was for Image Comics, I think the next one I put is Image Comics as well. I don't know if it is Image Comics. You've got me worried now.
Okay.
It is. It's Image Comics. Yes, thanks goodness for that. But yes, go back a slide.
Yes, mate. There we go.
So this issue 4, they're stuck in the labyrinth of his own torment. It says, and I think when we've been reading this, it's a kind of it's fair to say that that's a good sort of synopsis. We questioned whether this was a mental health story, and I think it really is. I think this book is an insight into this guy's mind.
Yeah, you've been saying that since you've been saying that for a few issues. I think
absolutely.
I think the longer this goes on, though, you kind of there's something going on. Like Jeff Lemire isn't as straight and narrow as we think he is with his writing. He's kind of there's something in the forecourt of his presumptions of this character. So I think you're onto something here, mate.
It's like, is he ever going to find his daughter? I don't think in the next issue or two that he will, unfortunately. And I think this will just keep going. So yeah, pick up May's book, issue number 4.
From Image, #Dark Horse. From Image,
next up, I know, consistency. Next up is A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, and this is issue number 3. And I'm going to be holding my hand up and say I didn't read issue number 2. I don't know if you did, Charlie. Did you?
Oh, do you know what? I'm really loving these comics, and the thing is that every single issue number 1, it told a story about the character that was on the cover. Issue number 2, we found out who he was because he was on the cover number 2. I can only assume that we're going to find out who she is because she's on issue number 3. The covers are great. The covers are great.
And would you recommend reading issue number 2? Because I can never dropped off it.
No.
Would you recommend reading issue number 2?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And the artwork is fantastic. It's Andrea Lima Araujo. I'm going to commit and say that's who it is. But this is Rick Remender, so everybody knows Rick and the work that he's done. So you know it's going to be a solid read and a really good ending. So that is A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, issue number 3.
Yeah, no, this is definitely love this. I would definitely buy it, 100%. And
it's an absolute banging week next week, I must admit. So this is Newborn issue number 2, and thankfully enough, this is Image Comics. I'm looking at every slide now going. So this is written by Chip Zdarsky, and the artwork is by Jacob Phillips. And the synopsis is saying that an arson case finds Emily talking to the community about the criminals involved and about Newborn. If he's as dangerous as they say, will Emily choose to help him? That's a synopsis. It doesn't actually give much detail away, but we'll see what it has to offer.
So Newburn kind of works for all the organisations, and then obviously Emily is the next door neighbour of a case that he's solving in a block of flats.
And he works for all the mafia bosses.
And he works for all the mafia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you was lucky enough to, I think Tom gave you a gift, didn't he? At Thought Bubble, you managed to get issue number 1 and a Polaroid signed by Chip Zdarsky.
He did indeed, yeah. That was a nice wee surprise that he handed to me at Thought Bubble. So, or was it in the pub? It was probably, I can't remember. But yeah, I was really.
It was somewhere in Harrogate. It was somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in England, somewhere. Yes. But yeah, no, it was a great read, and I'm looking forward to issue number 2.
And then, last but not least.
Yeah, I went for something a little bit different here. This is
by Image as well.
Yeah, this is by Vault Comics, and this is We Ride Titans issue number 1. And this is written by Trey Dean, and the art is by Sebastian Perez. I'm committing with that name. And I'm not going to lie, I went for this just because it has massive kaiju in the cover.
Is massive what?
Indeed. It says kaiju hit hard. Families hit harder. Trying to keep your family from imploding is a tall order. Kit Hobbs is about to find out it's an even taller order when that family has been piloting the Titan that protects New Hyperon from kaiju for generations. Between a spiraling brother, a powder keg of a father, and a whole bunch of 20-story monsters, she's got her work cut out for her. I just thought it sounded really intriguing.
It sounds well interesting, yeah. That sounds really interesting. I think I'll definitely be reading that one. Nice.
I think this one might go a little bit under the radar. It's Vault Comics. There's so many good indie books coming out. but I would definitely recommend that you pick this up and give it a read.
Did you notice that? I know you felt left out the other week, but I added the Christmas decorations there for you. Not adamantly, you got a little hat.
Do you know, I did notice that, and I appreciate that.
It's all right. It's not a problem.
You could have changed that Image Comics logo to Dark Horse for me, Charlie.
I can't hold your hand. I can only guide you. All right. I can only set you up to fail. It's you that has to do the failing. All right, mate. But yeah, look at it. You get 2 reads for the price of 1. There we go.
I appreciate it. Yeah, go and follow me on Instagram. I'm heading towards 900 followers on there, hoping to get to 1,000. I don't know what that means, but it's a nice round number, and my OCD likes it.
And make sure you go onto perpetual.comics, not perpetual.chioma, because you go and check her out. It's a whole different world you're opening up.
She's a whole other raft of
onions and eggplants, and yeah, she's great. Check her out. But yeah, head over there. But but then obviously our news section that it's become really quite staple now, isn't it? It was from Comics versus the World. He kind of come up with a suggestion.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
No, I don't think it is either. And this is the killer trades for December 15th as well. So we kind of review. Let me get this out. We review the comics from the week before. We do the covers from the current week. We do the killer indies for the week coming, the killer keys for the week coming, and the killer trades for the week coming as well. So if you can kind of understand that as well as we do, then you're all set. You're all good. Yeah, look, here we go. Look, killer trades is my favorite segment now because I don't read single issues. All good. Thanks, James. There you go. So yeah, there's private conversations going on here. I think a minute ago, James was outside Peter's house. Dean was already in Peter's house, and I think Peter was shitting himself because he didn't know how to deal with James being outside his house and Dean inside his house. So, but yeah, I hope you three enjoy your evening. I hope you find and you can kind of snuggle up and read a good trade paperback and enjoy yourself with a hot cup of cocoa. Why, man? Why not? But yeah, this is the December 15th killer trades that we've got coming out. And up first, Andy.
So I just picked one this week, which was War of the Bounty Hunters, Dr. Aphra. This is volume 3. This is going to be about 112 pages, $15.99, so an absolute bargain, and it collects issues 11 to 15. I've been collecting all the single issues for Dr. Aphra since volume number 1. And it's a fantastic story. At some point, we are going to get Dr. Aphra on the big screen, and all these issues, all these books are going to absolutely blow up. But it's a really good story, and you don't necessarily need to be a diehard Star Wars fan to actually enjoy the content. So this was the reason I picked this up. This will be in shops on December the 15th.
I thought you was going to say at some point we're going to get Dr. Aphra on the show. I was like, are we?
Please surprise.
I just love the fact that the art is by Mink Yu Young and Federico Sabatini and Alicia Wong. That's 3 good people there. Like, they've done some good stuff. Have they done all the art for Dr. Aphra?
For this volume, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I haven't gotten into any of the Star Wars, and I know you and you lay into me for this, but I've got to say I am.
No, don't start. It's an absolute minefield because I think there's at least maybe 10 or 11 different Star Wars books out at the minute. So yeah, it all adds up.
Oh, yeah, and that's just Marvel for you, isn't it? Anyway, going on to, this is definitely Image. This is Saga, the trade paperback box set. This is 1,524 pages, coming at a reasonable price, to be fair, of $125. It collects the Saga volumes 1 to 9 trade paperback, but you also get a set of 6x9 cover prints exclusive to the box set. So it's I mean, Brian K. Vaughan is massively bigging this up on all social media channels as well, and so he should. It's a fantastic read. But yeah, this basically, if anyone looking to get into Saga, this is kind of your go-to pickup, I would say.
It looks quite a pretty box set. I think that's what I miss about only collecting single issues, is that I miss out on these hardcovers and the trade paperbacks, and they always, you're obviously paying a premium for these, but they always look nice and they display well as well.
No, and that's the thing, like, What I like about Dino, he posts, I think he does his like monthly or weekly pickups where he's got his stack and stuff. Trade paperbacks, they do look so much better displayed. Like if you had a cabinet full of single issues, you're not seeing nothing. You're just going to see like bits of paper sticking out. But when you've got trade paperbacks, especially when they're displayed like this, it becomes more of a collector's art piece instead of just a comic. You know what I mean?
No, totally. Yeah, I always wonder if it's a prerequisite for trade paperback and hardcover collectors to have an IKEA potted plant. Because you always have one of those in every single picture. And Phil Nerdiverse does that all the time.
Yeah,
I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I think it's true what Connie's done. She's just reiterating what you said. Star Wars comics are very overwhelming. I think that's Marvel comics over in general. I think it is in general. Once they kind of get their teeth into something, they just execute the hell out of it. I really do. Triple G, love a trade paperback, particularly absolute editions. There we go. So that is Saga trade paperback box set. Nightwing, volume number 1, Leaping into the Light. This is a hardcover. This is 160 pages, and this is coming in at $24.99. This collects the Infinite Frontier issues 18 to 83, done by the fantastic Tom Taylor and art by Bruno Redondo. I'm loving this. I've loved the Nightwing. I've loved like the elements of the crossover into the Batman, into Gotham, where he's like in Bloodhaven and stuff. This has been quite a good story. Like I would say this is some of the more enjoyable Tom Taylor stuff. Not that Tom Taylor has done anything that's not enjoyable, but some of his comics you do tend to read and think it's the same old regurgitated stories. Nightwing is up there. I love my Batman as you will know, and I'm really enjoying the Nightwing as well. Have you been reading any Nightwing?
I have not, mate. I've heard really good things about, specifically from issue number 78. I think that's when maybe Tom Taylor jumped on to Nightwing.
Yeah.
And I've heard that it's a fantastic story. So this might actually be something that I pick up rather than trying to pick up the single issues, because I've heard it's worth it. So, yeah.
I mean, I'll pick this up just because it's a hardcover, and I can imagine that cover looking pretty decent.
Yeah, you can imagine maybe the hardcover's got some sort of raised print on it as well. Yeah.
We've got Connie saying, I got the compendium recently for Saga. I'm still working my way through it. Good luck with that. If you want to check back in probably around May next year and let us all know how you did, that'd be great. Pallet and a half pint. I've now entered the rabbit hole of trades. The wife just got me the Something is Killing the Children hardcover. Enjoy that. Dino, as a Brian K. Vaughan fan, I love the fact that they put this out in box set, but I'd still rather have the 3 oversized hardbacks. You could get them cheaper than this too. That's quite a good way to look at it, to be fair. That's quite interesting. Panels and a half pint. Tom Taylor just signed an exclusive deal with DC recently. Okay, so he's going to be churning out shitloads. And then look
at Sean with the hot news segments.
Panels and a half pint news presenter. Connie, I want to read Nightwing because I think I'd like the character, but I don't even know where to start with DC Comics. I only ever read Deceased Volume 1, and that was it. That's a good place to start. Deceased number 1. Deceased was really good, to be fair. And then it kind of what did they do? They did Deceased, and they did more Deceased, and then they said, we're still Deceased, but we're going to keep churning out comics. So, yeah, that's kind of where it went. But, yep, Nightwing. Volume 1, Leaping into the Light. This is out on December the 14th. Obviously, DC bring theirs out on the Tuesday, whereas the rest of the publishers bring theirs out on a Wednesday. Now I know you guys haven't read, it's only me and Tom that read Power Rangers. This is Power Rangers volume number 3, trade paperback, 112 pages, $16.99. Now, this collects Power Rangers issue 9 to 12. I've been reading all of this. What about you, Andy?
Sell it to me, Charles. Sell it to me.
So if you watch Power Rangers or Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when you was a kid growing up, you would absolutely love this. Okay, there we go. So this, I'm going to cut this short. This is for all you Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fans that might want to pick this up. The stories have been great. Ryan Parrott and Francesco Montario have been absolutely killing it. It's been really, really enjoyable to read. But yeah, it's out next week. If you want to pick it up, grab it. What have we got? There we go. Panels and a half pint. Batman New 52, Connie. Good starting point. Yeah, he's on that. Dino has said, I can give you some good starting points for DC stuff. Drop me a message on Instagram if you need to. Great stuff. Love this. all thanks. I'll have a look at the new 52. I'll take you up on that. You know, I'm still working through your last Rex.
I love the way we're bringing everybody together. Like,
it's like
there's beautiful things happening in the chat.
One big happy family. So yeah, that's Power Rangers Volume 3. Andy, I'd suggest you get on this because it's all about the unlimited power era.
Listen, I'm on Amazon as we speak.
No, you're not. Don't lie. No, you're not. But yeah, that's it from the trade paperbacks. Now, the other section of the show that we do every week is the Killer Comics Show Sneak Peek. This kind of highlights what comics us three will be reviewing next week. Now, up first, I had to go with this. Ran V, fantastic guy, friend of the Killer Comics Show. Met him at Thought Bubble. Great guy. He's taller than I thought he was. But yeah, really, really tall. Amazing hair.
Can we move on? Stop
Luscious
talking about here. You make me jealous.
Right. So obviously this is Silver Coin issue number 7, written by Ran V and Michael Walsh. Looking forward to this. This is called Tazumpanko. So obviously Silver Coin is about all individual issues that all tie around one single element that is consistent throughout all the comics, and that is a silver coin. So this is my pick for next week. We have Tom's. Oh, go on, Andy. What were you going to say, mate?
No, I was just going to say if this has been this issue that you just showed there is the issue that actually got me back into putting Silver Coin in my pull list as soon as I realised that Ram V was going to do an issue. And if anybody can absolutely nail horror, you would imagine that's going to be Ram V.
You dropped off on issue number 4, didn't you?
Number 5. So
number
I know
5.
it was only originally meant to be 1 to 5, and then because it was so successful, so I dropped off at 5, and then I seen the solicitations for issue number 7. I was back in.
There we go. Dino's just said Silver Coin Volume 1 was a highlight for me. Fantastic horror reading. Again, this is a comic because you suggested it. I jumped on it and read the 5 issues leading up to when we reviewed issue number 5.
Issue 5 is one of the best issues that I've read this year. And you can almost go and read issue 5 first, understand what the Silver Coin's backstory is all about, then read issue 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah.
So this
was my pick, and I'm really looking forward to it. Tom's pick, Devil Reign, Marvel's Devil Reign, another gigantic Marvel event. I've read this because it came out this week. I said last week I weren't going to get hooked. I was like, I'm not getting into it. I'm going to save my statement for next week. But yep, this is Tom's.
This is
pick.
only 5 issues, isn't it? This is Chip Zdarsky again.
6.
Was it 6?
It says it clearly there, 1 of 6.
Oh, it does, yeah. Wow. Salty,
baby. Drop the salt. Drop the salt on my head.
So apparently Chip is going to go back after this to the main Daredevil run.
Yeah.
If I
apparently
rightly.
So. Yeah. So, but what have we got? The Devil's Reign.
6 issues, yeah.
Yeah, 6 issues. Yeah, this is number 1 of 5. Devil's Reign is what I'm looking forward to. Yep, it is. And Silver Coin 5, best issue of the series and clearly planned from the start. Honestly,
exactly, Mark. Yeah,
it's great. We've got Andy. This is your pick.
This is my pick. This is the 6th. Number 6, not number 5, Charlie. This is number 6 of Made in Korea by the fantastic Jeremy Holt. I haven't read it yet. I'm saving it. I'm actually going to go back and read issue 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then hit number 6 before next week's show. And I cannot wait. I'm so looking forward to it. I've picked up all the single issues. I'm going to pick up the trade paperback when it comes out. This is in contention for my book of the year.
I do have an exclusive about this. So on the December the 23rd issue of the Killer Comic Show, myself, Andy, will be joined by Jeremy Holt and George Shaw to talk about the whole 6 issues of the comic. They're going to be on. They're going to be going in depth about it because I think this has been such a great comic. It was Jeremy's first comic that he broke into. He'd been trying for so many years to get into the business, and he made it with Made in Korea. So Image picked him up, and thank God that they did, because it's going to be great. And yeah, it's going to be on December the 23rd. That he's going to be that they're going to be on. And we also, on top of that, they have also said that when the trade paperback comes out, they will both sign it. They will send us a copy, and we can give it away as a giveaway to the people of the chat. and one of you lucky viewers will be taking home a dual signed made in Korea trade paperback. How fantastic is that?
And if it's 2 days before Christmas, then surely one of us is going to be dressed up as Santa Claus.
Of course.
Jeremy, if you're watching.
There we go, Jeremy.
Sorted.
Yeah, there we go. But obviously, that's going to be a great show. That's December the 23rd. We'll put some stuff out on. We will put some stuff out on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. Anyone know when Made in Korea trade paperback is out? Dino.
It's January-ish.
It is January. It is January-ish. We will look into that. But yeah, this is. I think Mark's hit it on the head. Possibly best series of the year. One of the best series of the year. I think Layla Star really kind of hit hard. Was interesting. Panels in a half point. Red Made in Korea issue number 6 today, saying nothing until next week. Like, that's like me. I've read it already and I am literally just keeping stum. But yes, this is that's our free comics. And what we started doing, I don't know if you've noticed over on YouTube, we kind of do every week, we kind of do a viewer's choice. Now we've gone for us three will pick a second comic for people for a suggestion of what people to read. So my pick was Dark Knights of Steel issue number 2. Andy's pick was Image Comics What's the Furthest Place from Here issue number 2. Tom's pick was Star Wars Crimson Reign issue number 1. And then I just randomly picked Dark Horses Daisy issue number 1. So what you can do, it is up now on YouTube. You just go on to the Geeky Guy Comics YouTube channel, go onto the community tab, and you can place your votes. And you can also do it over on Twitter as well. So get your votes in, and then the highest one will win, and then we will review that comic on next week's show as well. But it's been another amazing show. Andy, always good to have you back, son. Thank you, mate.
It's good to be back. It's as if I never left.
It's been great, and look, we've even got we've got Dino saying cheers chaps for us, suggesting that it comes out in January. We've got Leon Russell backing us up, saying it comes out on 26th of January. We've got Comics and Pops hashtag Team Nerd Herd. How you doing? So you've literally just jumped in as we are leaving, but I'm sure you will catch the rewind.
Catch the rewind.
Thank you very much. And then he's asking how everyone in the chat is doing. It's been a fantastic show. It's been absolutely buzzing. Massive shout out to every single one of you for taking the time to waste your Thursday night sitting, listening to a Cockney and a jock talk about comics. But it's been enjoyable. I enjoy doing it every Thursday night. Andy enjoys doing it every Thursday night. You would think Tom enjoyed doing it every Thursday night, but he works like 27 jobs.
Tom, in fairness, Tom's too busy like saving people's lives.
He actually is saving people's lives. We're just informing you about comics, and Tom's actually saving rugs from burning buildings and stuff.
I was just going to say, Charlie, thank you to everybody that's in the chat, and make sure that everybody in the chat goes and follows and subscribes and does all that good stuff to everybody else. To
everyone else in the chat. But also what we've got to do is who won cover of the week. Now, we've got in third place, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with 124. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 124, 22%. And in joint first, the first time ever, we've got the Invincible Red Sonja, number 7, with 39%, and Captain America Iron Man, number 1, with 39%.
Wait a second. So we've got 23 votes. Is there anybody, I'm looking at you, Comics and Pops, that hasn't voted?
I'm literally
who wants to vote, and you want to vote for the Invincible Red Sonja 7?
Comics and Pops, we are going to go back and we are going to look at the covers of the week. So you need to, Comics and Pops, it's down to you. So you need to choose between this cover, which is mine, the 1 in 50, Alex Ross, Captain America, Iron Man incentive cover, or is it the Invincible Red Sonja number 7, the Carla Cohen 1 in 10 Virgin incentive? We've got this one. And we have this one. It is all down to you, sir. And it's...
we're going to win and that pretty much wraps that up, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay safe, stay sexy, all that good stuff.
Red Sonja for the win. Look at that. Okay, thank you very much. How do I ban him from the show? He literally jumps in at the last minute, and then Andy, you sent the call out, didn't you? You sent the perpetual signal, and you got Comics and Pops in at the last moment. But yeah, do you know what? I mean, to be fair, I even voted for your cover.
Mm-hmm.
because it is fantastic. It is great. You won the vote at 42%. I got 38 and Tom got 21. So Andy, you are out in front with 7 wins. Tom's got 5 and I've got 1. So
nice.
Great stuff. And yeah, he loves Carla Cohen because I believe they had her on the show.
That's right, yeah.
They did, yeah.
I think they did, yeah.
This is a setup. It's a setup. Right, I'm not having this no more. Guys, love you all. Enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. Have a Merry Christmas if we don't see you next week. And as Tom would say, stay safe, stay sexy. Peace out, people. See you later.
See ya.